In order to solve this inequality, we need to, first of all, find the values that define our intervals. And we will do that by solving x squared minus x minus 42 equals 0, which is simply found by subtracting 42 from both sides of the inequality and then replacing the inequality symbol with an equal sign. We can solve this now simply by factoring. We'll have x minus 7 times x plus 6 equals 0. Now using the zero factor property, x minus 7 equals 0 or x plus 6 equals 0. We'll add 7, so we'll get x is equal to 7 or x is equal to negative 6. Now we know on our number line that negative 6 and 7 will define our test intervals, and in fact we'll have 1, 2, 3 test intervals, which I will call A, B, and C. Now that we have defined our 3 intervals, A, B, and C, we can choose a test value that falls within each of those intervals. I've chosen negative 7, 0, and 8. I will use those test values to evaluate whether or not x squared minus x minus 42 is greater than or equal to 0. So for the first interval, I'll substitute negative 7 in for x. If I do that, I'll have 49 plus 7 minus 42, which will give me 14 greater than or equal to 0. We know that 16 is indeed bigger than or equal to 0, so that is true. So the answer to the question is yes. X squared minus x minus 42 is greater than or equal to 0 in interval A. For interval B, if we substitute 0 in for x, we will get negative 42 greater than or equal to 0. This is false. So the answer is no. And finally, for interval C, if we substitute 8 in for x, we'll have 64 minus 8 minus 42, which gives us 14 bigger than or equal to 0, which is indeed true. So yes, x squared minus x minus 42 is greater than or equal to 0 in interval C. Now that's what we wanted to find, is where we have yeses. And so the solution to this inequality is the interval, if we were to graph it, we know that values of negative 6 and less are indeed solutions, and values in interval C, which are 7 or greater, are solutions. And we can write this in interval notation as negative infinity to negative 6. We'll include the negative 6 because it's greater than or equal to 0. We'll union that with 7 to positive infinity.